More than friends, less than lovers, pals. Oh, yeah.
Santa Ana! Santa Ana! Pals, the date is January. We are filming this. We're going to pull back the curtain a little bit. Usually we try to suspend ourselves outside of time.
I know we are kind of some sort of vague figures to you guys.
But when you're living through events, sometimes it's good to just put a marker out there. A little bit of a...
Yeah, you guys probably know about it, and so then it's like, well, we may as well talk about
We
it.
have to address Anna.
Mm-hmm.
We have to address her.
Because we
She's
are safe.
affected us. Yes,
Let's start
we
by
are
saying
safe.
that. We are safe.
If you don't know who Santa Ana is, it's the Santa Ana Winds. We are based in Southern California, Los Angeles adjacent. And so in the last couple of days, the winds got absolutely crazy.
The winds are crazy. The fires are crazy. We are lucky enough to only be dealing with the winds. The winds, I think, were the worst in the area that we are, which was crazy. But we have not had any fire, so we're safe.
Regardless,
Everything is in a different place when we woke up
safe,
this morning.
yes. Aware or, I guess, familiar with our surroundings? No.
Things are different.
Waking up to a windswept world,
It was crazy.
it was.
I can't imagine what it must have been like to be in the Dust Bowl.
Guys,
But dust?
we saw one cloud of dust coming last
We
night.
were outside for Tuesday. Okay.
All right. Let's rewind, okay? So the fires are actively happening. The winds are
Yes.
still actively happening. We are safe. We are fortunate in that regard.
Yeah.
However, we'll take you back to yesterday. They started blowing.
Yeah, yesterday morning I was out back and it was really getting windy and I was like, this is crazy. It's pretty windy this morning. And then I was leaving and wind everywhere. I went to go to a coffee shop and I was like, they are closed?
And this is a coffee shop we do tend to have a little bit of
I
beef
have a
with.
little bit of beef with.
So
I kind of want to say it.
no, we can't.
It's
People
a Los
go-
Angeles coffee shop and I think they have some of the best chai tea. I love
It's so good. They always have good pastries. Like their food is really good.
really good. Their coffee's good. But every time I'm in there, and the style, it's cool. Like it looks cool in these buildings.
All of the baristas look like people that like are hanging out at the coolest spot you've ever been to, or they're in the back of a bookshop. One of those.
Which is also like so cool.
Yeah, no, their
Like
effort.
they're just like all cool, but the problem is they know it, and they let that attitude show to us people. And so this is a coffee shop I already had beef with, and then I get there and I was like, it is the time that they should be open on a Tuesday. Like they should be open.
Come on, guys.
Their power was out, but I could see people inside. And then I went to a coffee shop across the street, and they were like, our power is out, and I was like, and that is a lesson.
And that's
Don't
fair.
judge before you know.
Don't judge before
I'll
you
take
know.
that lesson. But then we started being like, oh man, these winds are getting
These
really
winds are actually
bad.
getting crazy. At one point, I wanted to take out my kite, but I was a little bit scared that it would like explode.
Your kite would have folded backwards.
Yeah, I would have gotten taken up with it. What a ride. So, well, last night while the winds were going really crazy at first, when we all finally got home, everybody was home in HQ. And did the power go out first? No. When we all got home,
We
there
all
were
went showered right away.
we all
'Cause we were gonna have
showered.
dinner and hang out.
Yeah, we had all heated up our dinners, and then Maddie is the last one in the shower, and the power goes out. Ew. And we're all like, the people in the living room are looking around like, okay, everybody's good. Like, oh, that's great. We heated up our food. And then we remembered, oh my gosh, wait, Maddie's in the shower. And then we just hear Maddie calling from the other side. She's going, la-da-dee, la-da-dee, la-da-dum. It was beautiful.
It's a good little bit. It got a good laugh. I could hear it through the door. That's how you know it's a good laugh.
Luckily, Papa had recently purchased some little solar lights for outside.
I finished my shower.
Yeah, she
with
did.
the help of my pals.
Yeah, we knocked on the door and we had a bunch of these little solar lights that are meant to like light kind of surfaces outside. And we just opened the door and threw a couple of them on the floor in there. And then Maddie goes, "Did you see my butt?" And I was like, "No."
I was wagging it.
She was being crazy.
You guys, we were going crazy over here.
Then-
it was so dark
Yeah.
in that bathroom.
And then at one point, Papa has two like go-to quotes for a very long time. Well, I would say the main one is from Twister, the original Twister movie. It's, "I gotta go, we got cows." She used to say that to us.
She says it all the time, and every time, this is what she would do. She would say it, and then she'd go, "What movie is that from?
What's that
What
from?
movie is that from? What movie is that from?" A movie that neither of us had seen at that point. So we'd always like, it's not coming to top of mind.
And then finally we were just like, oh, it's Twister. And then when we did see the original Twister, it was very exciting.
it was
'cause-
exciting to see it.
Yeah.
And she wasn't with us, which almost made it more special because
Yeah,
we
we
were like,
"Aw."
Papa's out there and we're thinking about her.
Yeah. Well, anyways, there was also the from Wizard of Oz. She loves doing the call.
She does the Aunt M. She loves doing the. Oh, I should have done that back to her.
Oh.
She loves doing when she goes Dorothy.
So
And she does it so well.
yeah. So at one point when the winds were pretty heavy, we did say we all kind of like looked at each other, and she kept Papa's a little bit of an adrenaline junkie. She kept running outside and be like, I had to get a video, and then she'd come back in and be like, oh, I got hit in the eye with like 8 things.
One thing you guys need to know about Papa, because I just said this today. I was like, if we ever get animation money, yeah, we're dreaming big. We're still in the goal planning of January, and if we get animation
that's
money, we're
dream
making
planning.
our version of like Looney Tunes, but it's Brie.
Yeah.
It's just things happening in Brie's day.
Yes.
Because she gets in more accidents.
if anybody in the world is going to
hurts
slip on a banana
herself,
peel in the year
it's
2025, it
Brie.
is
Earnestly,
Brie.
it's Brie.
It's Papa.
I would say we rarely go a week without her having some sort of
Bonk.
comedic injury.
Bonk or randomly getting bitten by like a Pomeranian.
Can I say one of my personal favorites? If you guys haven't figured out, our episode plans blew away.
They're gone, guys. Look at our set.
It blew away.
We came in here and we were like, this was an enclosed space. How did that happen?
How'd that happen?
Santa Ana, that's how that
She
happened.
can do it.
So if you're listening, you need to know that the set,
Our friends are okay.
our friends are all okay.
They're hanging out.
They actually preferred to stay upside down. When they blew upside down, they kind of
maybe this was right.
We
for
came in
us.
here, we rushed to help them. Kermit said, no, it's fine. I actually like vibe with this. It's cool. That one doesn't have a mouth. So that
But
one
we
didn't
assume
say
it likes
anything.
it.
Yeah, it was it makes kind of like some grunting sounds, but not like threatening grunting sounds.
Oh, it's.
And I don't know if you guys noticed,
We did it.
last week we made a little, I don't know if
scared
they're
to
dry.
touch it. Is
Wait.
it dry? We just.
Oh,
did
it's
this.
dry. It's dry.
That's my pal's hand I'm touching.
I'm high-fiving my pal.
So we're gonna tell you a little bit of the story of last night. Well, also.
Oh, for
just
audio listeners,
talking-
there are handprints behind us.
Oh,
we,
yeah.
We put, last week we mentioned how we wanted to put, I said I wanted to put handprints on the wall. Maddie said, what if we did them on each other's side?
so that we can without having to go this
That
way.
excited me to a level that is hard to even put into words. So then before we were filming today, we did that.
We did it, and they look really cute.
And it's kind of
yellow
amazing that
on our
Santa
pink
Ana
wall.
cleared all the stuff off the set for us to be able to do that.
And if you want to see it on YouTube, our YouTube is Won't You Be My Pal. If you want to follow us on Instagram, Won't You Be My Pal. TikTok, Won't You Be My Pal. Go to HeyTherePals.com.
And if you found us on TikTok and you still follow us on TikTok, we don't know about TikTok's future. So go ahead and do follow us on
follow us on
Instagram as
'cause
well.
we'll give you similar content.
Yeah, if TikTok goes away, we will be posting all of that.
Yeah.
It's like reels and stuff.
Yeah.
So
What were we talking about before we started? I was trying to say our plans blew away.
our plans blew away.
So throughout this episode, we're going to be all over the place, as you've seen.
the space has been cleared
a bit of
in
the
a
wind.
way.
We feel, I will say, and this is not me being trying to be overly dramatic. It was a little shaking.
I slept in your bed last night. Guys, we haven't addressed this.
Well, no, we'll get there. That's what I'm saying. I think we'll tell the story of tonight.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, but we're going to jump into other stuff. What were we talking
No.
about before this when we were like, we got to go?
It got blown away again. Dang, these winds are nuts, guys. You have one thought forming. Well, it was going to be amazing, guys. It was going to be a massive episode.
It was
you
one of
can't
our
even
biggest yet. imagine.
You can't
Huge.
even imagine the amount of the yards and yards of fabric that we had purchased.
It's the first lost episode of Pals. Wow. We had the city came and was like, we don't think you guys can do this, and we're like, we checked, it's legal. That's where it got to, you guys,
Yeah.
and we lost
we
it.
had some scientists reach out and they were like, we'd been tinkering with doing this
Doing
forever.
this. How'd you guys do it? And we said, honestly, it was just,
It's friendship.
it was friendship.
Always friendship. So all that to say, if you come to Pals for the hard-hitting topics and subjects, maybe this episode might not be your favorite.
It ain't gonna be this one.
Yeah, if you come here for our firm,
But if you-
hard-hitting structure,
If you were tired of us telling you to set goals,
yeah,
this
that's
might
also.
be the episode for you.
I think. Oh, Santa Ana blew away my chapped lip. Thank you. Ew, that's such a gross Never mind.
And we're not on her side.
No, we're not. We got beef with Anna. If your name's Anna, we're sorry, but you know it's not you. Unless it is. where were we
I was trying to get back to you. We were talking about a topic that wasn't related. Okay, we're talking about Papa's cartoons.
Papa's cartoons.
Yeah, but Papa would fall. Oh, I
Looney
was gonna rank. This
Tunes.
was a while ago, but I was gonna rank my favorite Papa. What's a word that starts for P, but would, like it starts with P, would be like not like conundrum, but like the situation she finds herself
Papa
in.
plot.
Papa
Could be a
plot.
Papa
Oh.
plot. That's such a Papa plot.
I love a Papa plot.
Papa plot point.
Okay, if you're
PPP.
even if you're not alone right now, say Papa plot to yourself because it's fun.
And
It
if you
feels
want to
fun
go
in the mouth.
crazy, say Papa plot point.
Papa plot point.
Did you say it? Guys, even if you're alone, you can call us too and do it. That could
We
be fun.
do have a phone number.
We have a phone number and it'll flash on the screen right now, I bet. I bet it will. Unless Maddie's going to try and make me look stupid right now.
I'm putting it right over her face. No. I always say that and then I don't do it because you guys gotta know when I get behind the keys, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that to my pal. I'm not doing that to my
When
pal.
she gets behind the keys. Oh,
Mhm.
I love that. I also
Papa
do
plot.
Papa plot. Papa plot point. Yeah.
I was gonna share one of my favorite Papa. But
Please do.
I do like Papa plot because I think that's good when other people tell stories. But like, this isn't really a plot. It's more of just like
Yeah.
an incident. One of my favorite ones
Mm-hmm.
was when we were watching High School Musical.
Yes.
And
Two.
and
Sorry.
sorry, that was
Teddy.
Teddy. He's hanging out. I had realized that I have Troy Bolton's like baseball T-shirt, like the red one that he wears.
It's
If
just
you've
white.
seen High School Musical too,
It's
you know
during
what
the
I'm
"You
talking
Are
about.
the Music and Me," right?
Yeah.
As they're singing that
When
song
he's
at the
kind of
piano
showing
with
his
Kelsey.
underwear?
Yeah, when he reaches over that piano,
Kenny.
you
Kenny.
absolute genius.
I don't want to say it. I just think that they got what kids want. In that movie, in a not harmful way.
Yeah.
In a cheeky little, like, it's fun to be a teen. It celebrated being a teen. Kenny, thank you for
Thank
making it be such a joyous time to be a
It
teenager.
really was.
Well, I wasn't even a teenager. but,
No,
like,
I was-
to aspire to be a
yeah.
teenager, you know?
To think about teenagerdom.
Yeah.
It really was just, it made the concept of growing up a little exciting.
Yeah,
Being
it
like,
just-
they sing still? Okay.
They sing, and, like, there's fun little, like, parties. Anyway, we were watching that, and I went and put on the shirt. And then Brie realized, I think that she had the boxers.
Yeah. So when he leans over,
I'm so sorry
he
to out
leans,
you, Papa. I forgot that.
he leans over the piano at one point, and if you were there, you know the exact moment we're talking
As a
about.
teenage girl, that was like deeply, that and Chad's armpit hair, deeply impactful to
Yeah.
young
Jarring. I
sorry.
think it was really
Many
a
girls.
confrontation of that's a man.
or anybody for that matter.
That's true. He reaches over the piano at one point, or does he bend back? I don't know. He reaches over it, and you could kind of like see his little boxers poking out. I think we checked it. Although also High School Musical 2, he is 19.
Yeah,
So
but I'm
as
even
we're
talking
saying
about,
this,
like, I was,
I just
we
wanna-
were what in
Yeah, we
seventh
were,
grade
like,
when that came
yeah.
out, and that was like because he was like an older boy.
Yeah.
Um,
But Brie realized that she had those underwear, so she jumps up from the couch, runs into her room.
Yeah, and then she realizes that I think she realizes like it had been in her car or something. Like she'd packed it for a trip recently. Like she's always she's always going to sets, coming back from sets, going like away, coming back.
Yeah, she really like psychs us out because then we'll see her come home around lunchtime sometimes, and we'll both be like dogs at the
Papa's
window.
home.
Papa's home.
And then she's like, "No,
Right
I
out
gotta
the
go back to
door.
work." And we're like, "What?" Or she'll just be like in Connecticut for 4 months. We're
Those
like,
are
bye.
the
So anyway,
dark times.
she was like, I think she realized she had stuff in her car, so she runs back out into the living room while music is playing. She's running because she wants to get it before the song's over. She's running. I don't know why we weren't just pausing it. She somehow, from the edge of our carpet in our living room to the front door where her bag was, it is maybe
You're only on the hardwood.
for maybe 3 feet
Yeah. You only have
Maybe
3
4.
feet of slip.
of slicker runway. She's wearing socks.
Mhm.
She's running fast.
You can guess where this is headed.
She's running fast. And guys,
The
I
way
can't
that she did
describe
it.
it other than like when Charlie Brown tries to kick the football and
he
his
kinda,
feet
like,
come out under him before his body even really
It was amazing.
goes. Her feet
She was
go-
airborne.
Her feet go straight into the wall.
Yeah,
where our
just-
mailbox is.
Yeah, instantly slams into the wall.
Yeah.
If there's ever a hole in our
first
wall,
though.
it's gonna be
Guys,
Papa.
she went into the wall like this.
Like like her knees locked.
Like
She had time for her knees to lock.
to slip out from under her. She's okay, but she's never really okay.
Yeah.
She's always a little hurt.
Yeah. One time Maddie got
And
a
it's
text
sad.
early in the morning, do you have an eye patch? What? And we
Well,
won't
first
even get into
she was like,
that.
"Do you have any eye drops?" And then she was like, "Could you pick me up an eye patch on the way home?" And I said,
And we're not even going to get
"There's
into that
no
one.
way." Yeah, but that's my favorite brief.
That's
plot.
Papa.
Papa plot.
But we went outside with Papa to film those videos, had our little fun.
It was
Maybe we'll play one. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe at the end if you stick around, I've been putting little videos on the end of. Did you watch the end of last week's
Not yet. No, I haven't gotten there. Wait, yes, I did.
or 2 weeks ago?
Did the camera just turn off?
I think it was this.
Oh, okay.
I think I did.
So sorry, guys.
We've had problems, as you know.
I don't
our
want to say
episode
trauma, but we
cut
definitely.
last week, but we've, along with the lost episode that we recorded that blew away with the wind,
Mhm.
we've lost a lot of footage because we weren't recording.
You guys have no idea how long we have sat here and yapped, only to realize nothing was being.
If you guys are like, wow, it's cool that they incorporate commercial breaks even though they have no sponsors and no commercials to be playing and it makes no sense for them to be doing it, it's because our camera will time out at 30 minutes.
Mhm.
So we have to have a timer here.
We got to take little breaks.
But honestly, it's kind
It's
of
nice.
nice. We've really made it work for us, which is kind of the theme of this episode.
Yeah.
Making it work.
Making it work. Taking.
Joyously.
Yeah.
And we're obviously, if you're in the middle
We
of
are
the
very
fires, we are
fortunate.
not talking
We
about
cannot
that.
stress
Let's all
that
understand. Let's all
enough.
have a little
We cannot stress that
discretion.
enough.
You understand what we're talking about. We're talking about silly, like things that are maybe a little frustrating in the moment.
Yeah, or even spooky.
Mm-hmm.
Or even could just be. It's gonna.
Could be not fun.
Something that becomes the reality and is not gonna not be the reality for
Yeah.
a minute.
And you need to just accept it.
I.e., our power going out. Because when the power went out and the wind is whipping so hard that we are watching the palm trees outside of our window almost going horizontal to the ground,
I didn't know
it
they
was
could bend
insane.
like that.
I didn't know they could. I didn't know they bent like
I
that. Shoo, palm trees. I didn't know you.
Palm trees.
I didn't know you move like that,
I didn't know
baby.
you could wiggle. No, they really.
Yeah, but it was a lot faster. Yeah, and it was a little bit more side to side. What was that?
I was blowing all around.
Oh, right.
I was clutching my pearls.
But when the power went out and the wind is going that hard, and it's, mind you, we had read something early on that said peak hours like didn't even start until 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. or something.
That became a catchphrase for us.
So-
being like, we aren't even at peak hours yet. Whenever stuff would be hitting our door.
Yeah.
I think we should walk him back even a little bit to right before we got home. What we were doing.
What were we Oh, yeah.
Guys, another.
Huge.
Okay. We've been doing ClassPass. This is not an ad.
Oh, however, ClassPass, we would love to continue.
Love.
We'd love to work something out.
And we want to tell you we might not be able to afford it without your help.
Yeah.
So,
ClassPass, we're saying that the timer's ticking on us having ClassPass, and we're
because,
loving it.
again, we want you to know we're using it to the fullest. We've had it for 3 days,
3 days.
and we've gone to 2 things.
2/3 of the days. And we had it Sunday night so we could go to a Monday class.
morning. Then we went to Tuesday. Today's Wednesday,
Yeah.
so we have not gone yet, but the day is open still. I don't know that anyone's going to be open,
I don't
if
think
I'm being
anywhere.
honest.
Monday, well, we'll start with Monday. Monday, we really jumped into, I think that this is the, wow.
Let's just say the palm trees weren't the only things flying.
Oh,
this week.
yeah. And branches weren't the only thing bouncing.
Yeah. That's right. We took an adult bungee class.
It was a bungee fitness class. If you've ever seen ads for ClassPass, they use this a lot.
I hope everyone's like, no, those are your targeted ads. And they probably are.
Yeah, ClassPass is like, hey, we noticed you never move or exercise. What if we offered to strap
How about
you up?
just balance? And it was, they were right,
Guys.
because this has been a dream for Millicent and I. Guys, truly, Millicent and I were getting like a little emotional at the end because we were like, this is something we have wanted to
And
do
to find out it was down the street from us.
probably 2 years. Guys,
Woman-owned business,
Women-owned business that
down the
just
street from us.
opened.
Soft opening still. When they said that, we were.
we went, so you're telling us there's a chance for us to get involved?
Hey, so here's the thing.
You're on the ground floor.
You're
right
gonna
now.
know us.
Hey, here's the thing. We're your bouncing mascots.
All
And,
day, every day. You're gonna be begging us to leave.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe you shouldn't even let us back.
Honestly,
No,
what-
I will say though,
their energy,
I
incredible.
mean, if I was bouncing nonstop, if I was bouncing multiple
It was
times a
different.
day,
and teaching people, guys, can we tell you? a couple moments this class had us gagged. So we get there. They like, you sign stuff, obviously. They strap you up. They have to help you get strapped into these harnesses.
Everything. So you know the
And
scaffolding.
So people who don't know, we're not training to go bungee jumping.
No.
This is a class where you're in like a bungee seat and you're doing like moves and flying in it.
They have the scaffolding that they have at concerts a lot. That's kind of that metal
heavy
scaffolding.
duty.
And it's almost in a warehouse.
Yeah.
And it's this scaffolding that goes up and above it. And then they have multiple stations where that you come in and they have to adjust everything for each person.
Yeah, because like your height is different.
Yeah, they have to adjust everything for each person. So then like we get there though, and to see that and to know that that's what was happening. If you follow us on Instagram, we had posted about it. But we were wildly excited. And then to meet the girlies who were going to be teaching the class, and then the woman who I think was the owner or the manager.
So.
All of them were just so
nice. And the woman who led our class, this was the first time I think we were truly like, because we get in the seats
when
we're
they strap you in
already, and they had a couple times be like, "Don't fly yet." We
and
were like,
we had
I
had left the ground.
Say, looking back though, we didn't know what it was like to fly yet.
We didn't. We were not ready.
We were not taught.
We weren't ready to fly.
We hadn't listened yet. So we get in these. We're already having fun bouncing around. Like that, if we had gotten out 5 minutes later, I would have been like, that was worth it.
I had to explain to Maddie the lifelong thing that this specific activity
hit the people with it, because I think that
filled me with.
We might have an audience that would enjoy this for the same reasons.
Okay. So ever since I was little, I think seeing Cosmo and Wanda on Fairly Odd Parents, the way that they floated, how they were sitting almost, it looks like they're like sitting in a chair. I always loved that, right? So I had one of those, I think it was a Melissa and Doug doll, and she was a little girl and she had knees that could bend, and then you could bend like her legs up. So I would have her in the sitting position, and she was always like the fairy character in whatever I was imagining, and I just would always have her sitting. Then I had a friend in elementary school who had a playground out back.
Your fantasy being forever sitting is
sitting butt floating. So then my friend growing up had a really fun place set out back, and it had one of those, it was like, so it was on the side of it hanging down, and there's a bar, and then there's two, they're triangle shaped, but they're pretty big, like handles underneath it. So I think it's kind of like you can swing on it, you can do mini gymnastic stuff, I'm sure. She taught me how to put my legs through it so that I could like hoist myself up and basically be sitting and floating.
That feels like such a like core memory for so many people, because I think everybody had a friend that had that specific play set thingy.
No, and I would just sit up there. We tried it. We just like take turns getting to be the fairy. I was like sitting there.
It was one of the few playground things that stayed fun for a long time.
Yeah,
like
you can always hang on stuff.
Yeah,
and I think swing sets too.
Yeah,
I really feel like more towns should just put swing sets places.
Yeah,
I think they'd be surprised.
So slides for me, like little slides, I feel like pretty quickly I was like, done it. I get it. I don't really have an interest. After I've done it like once or twice, I don't really have an interest in doing it anymore. My hometown had this giant wooden slide in just like a random park. Yeah. So it was a blast, and it was slicked up. They would like, and I can't describe how big this was. Like it was huge, and it was really wide. Like it was probably not as wide as a garage, but like probably as wide as this set. Like it was big, and they had these like. These like burlap sacks.
No, that's what I was hoping you were going to say.
And you would slide down. You would go so fast, it would knock the wind out of you. Because you would go up a little at the end, and then you would land. You were landed in corn. It was just like stuff down here.
They just had you launching off of this?
No, it's not supervised. It's just in a public park. But
it was just grass. It wasn't even mulch or anything?
No, it was like a little like almost like sandbox kind of thing at the bottom. But I think there was corn in it, but I can't remember. Maybe I'm just imagining that.
In your hometown, I bet it was.
One of the times it splintered. Mm-hmm.
No.
And it like got in somebody's leg, I think.
No,
yeah.
No. Well, when you said wooden slide, I was thinking that's bold.
Yeah.
You don't ever really hear wooden slide.
Yeah.
Usually it is a metal slide.
I just think that it was old. Like I think someone built it forever ago, and they were like, well, people love the slide.
I always got stressed out on the slide because I would get stressed out when there were a ton of kids crowded around the bottom. And I think I still get stressed out on like escalators when people aren't getting off the escalator fast enough. I'm like, there's no other option. I'm coming.
To me, it feels like I'm like, you are not aware of the ripple effect that one person can have. And that one person is me, because when I'm coming down that slide, I have no control in stopping myself at the very end. And because here's the thing, I don't really want to do the thing where I have to slow myself down with my hands. I want to be going full speed.
If I waited in line or I climbed up those steps to get on that slide, I want to be able to slide.
Are you a water park person?
I was.
How are we doing with that?
I think that I really loved them when I was younger because I didn't love, if my family was going to an amusement park, I was scared of roller coasters. Now I love them, but I was really scared of them. So the water park was more even ground for us.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Also, we did just hit 24 minutes. So I think we need to check on the camera.
We'll come back.
I don't know, but I'd have let's close water parks real quick though.
I am not a huge fan.
I think that I
just
love
am
them.
a little too grossed out
Yes,
by it to
I
actually
have
fully enjoy it.
I have so much fun when I'm there.
If a friend has a slide at their pool, love
it. I enjoy it a lot, but it is really hard now as an adult to get past.
Because every time, like, we went to Great Wolf Lodge or something like that, because I went with my choir trip, and, like, the number of kids that left sick and, like, with, diseases,
I'm with the neurovirus right now.
Millicent,
Sorry.
we're pausing.
Loudest sneeze I've ever heard.
We have, and again, back to kind of the theme of this episode, we have kind of figured out a flow for this show that makes us stay at the energy level we want to be for you guys.
Boom.
Which means, like, not rushing ourselves through this. Like, when we have really learned to embrace those breaks that we told you we have to do, otherwise our camera will just end. So we've really kind of been like, okay, no rush. Like, we had to do a few things. Like, we have to go to the bathroom, go do what you gotta do. We're chilling, we're hanging out.
We're chilling, and then occasionally we remember, we actually do have work to do.
We should go back.
Yeah, sooner or
see
later.
the pals. And we've cooked up some thoughts, and I wrote down 2 thoughts throughout our conversations because we sat in here for a minute
You
in the
wrote things
pause, and then
down?
just 2 because I didn't want to
know
forget
we were
them.
right. All my paper
Well,
flew away.
The first thing when we were hanging out in
I ain't
here
got
for
no
a
more
second,
paper. It's all in the wind.
yeah, when we were in here for a second, her
dress fell off.
we meant to draw on these.
Yeah, we'll
but
get
we
on
didn't.
that.
But we didn't. I had written down because you and I were talking about what we wanted to share with them because we've kind of gotten in a habit of giving you guys. The rate has been about 1 movie recommendation an episode and 1 YouTube or some smaller form of media to consume.
Just give it. It's more so. It's like not recommended reading, but more so
just
like
if you like this, you might also like this.
Hey, and also if you want to know the reference that we're making, or and by also telling you to do it by asking you to watch and we'll mention it again, the Heidi Gardner.
Last Dance SNL Heidi Gardner sketch.
You will. It's almost like showing our cards a little bit because you will then be like,
a lot of their bits are just
half
that.
of what they
so
do
we also
are
want to
things
give
they've seen.
credit to the people that we are getting these bits from.
We are simply amalgamations of all that has made us giggle before us.
All of the YouTube came around. I don't know that the kids know this. YouTube came around at a time that was crucial for us because it was like at a time where computers were so new that I think parents didn't quite understand what could be on it. Yeah. So I remember the first YouTube video I ever watched.
Wow.
It was upstairs in my neighbor Andrew's house. Shout out Andrew. And I remember him being like, you have to watch this Weird Al music video called White and Nerdy. And guys, does that not explain my whole personality? That my first YouTube video was Weird Al's White and Nerdy? Wow. Do you know yours?
I honestly don't know that I could pinpoint it. I think like my brothers and I were really early on with Rhett and Link. They had some really fun videos. I remember they had a video called Fat Dippin', and it was instead of skinny dipping, you swam with all your clothes on, and it was like a song.
That sounds dangerous.
And they had a guy come out and he did a really fun Obama impression, and he was like, "I mandate fat dipping this year," and he did like a fun little like poem with it, and we really
that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know that the kids that got TikTok their whole
There was-
lives understand that like this was a big deal that like kids could consume content, a lot of it without their parents knowing, and not even that it was bad. It just was like it was free reign, like it was the Wild West.
I remember the
YouTube.
first Jenna Marbles video I ever watched.
Yeah,
I remember getting my laptop.
Charlie the Unicorn.
That one always I
See, 'cause there
never
were
enjoyed
some that,
Charlie
Don't
the
Hug Me,
Unicorn.
I'm Scared. Like those early ones that were like,
Hated that.
we were testing the limits of the internet and we went a little
Hated.
too far one
I-
way.
Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared really, really,
I think I am scared. I would say, breakdown of how much I like that video versus how much I don't like that video. I don't like that video probably 80%.
Okay.
That's not as much as I'd like to
Yeah.
dislike it.
It's
I'd like to
also a-
dislike it 100%.
It's a connotation for me. I had a pretty insane coworker at the sandwich shop I worked at in high school. And he would be like manager on shift every once in a while. Whenever it was his night, I swear up until 7 p.m., funnest shift, awesome. And then everything kind of turned at that latter half of the night. He was very much so like, he threw a cash register one time. That was crazy.
He had Sundowner?
Anyways, yeah, essentially. Anyways, he used to play the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared in the back while he did the dishes. And I was
Whoa,
like,
no, that's weird. Watching it for like a casual, like watching it over.
Just,
it's
like,
fun
having
to
it
me, I
on.
think it was my first experience collectively watching something with a group of people that you felt like a shared thrill over, where it was like we're all kind of experiencing the same discomfort, and that was like kind of exciting to like be in that with people together, which is
Yeah.
kind of the theme of this episode too, which is we were pretty not uncomfortable, but we made our night comfortable. It
Yes.
could have been uncomfortable.
it could have been spooky, but instead it was cozy.
We lit all of our candles when our power went out.
I cracked out my star projector.
We had all just heated up our food.
all
or
just
cooked it.
showered. Oh, at this point, though, there was a moment where Papa looked out the window and was like, we realized that my car, where it was in our driveway, was actually the worst possible
And
spot
guys,
for
we
a car
had
to be
been
in.
the wind for a minute.
Mind you, guys,
Trees are down.
it's a Chevy Spark, okay? A ladybug
low.
could land on my windshield, and that would be kind of considered a car accident. Like, it is a small little car. But we were watching as there was one branch in front of our house just tauntingly hanging and swinging, and we realized that the wind was going to blow it directly in, so we did have to have a mission where we all ran out at one point.
It was so exhilarating.
Yeah, well, we all ran out to get into my car. We all said we'll do it together. And 3 of us run into my car. Our friend Sydney, we all run out. We're sprinting. She immediately gets into the car in front of my, like, all of us are running and we get in my car. And then we look up and we're like, where's Sydney? Sydney's in the car in front that we were not going to be moving. So then she had to come back out, and it was very dramatic and very
It was
fun.
so funny because it was such a long pause where we all realized that she had misunderstood what the plan was. And we had gone over it military style inside.
Yeah, we had
because we'd
really-
been like, we want to be outside for as little time as
yeah,
possible.
heads down. You aren't looking at anything.
And the way this came about was we knew Millicent had to move her car. We weren't going to let our brother go alone.
well,
so we
I was
said-
going to go, and then Maddie said, I'm going with you, brother.
Well,
and I
think-
knew that.
And I also think Papa jumped in pretty quick because she was like, I
Yeah,
need to
no,
move the
Papa jumped in
branches
fast.
behind your car. So she had a mission.
yeah. And then
I was there for moral support.
And then because we were amping it up, Sydney was like,
So
oh,
she was
I'm
like,
gonna
obviously, I'm
come.
gonna. And then Sydney suggested buddy system.
yes.
Genius.
Genius. You got it. But it didn't work very well because Sydney ended up in the wrong car.
Yeah, her buddy left her instantly.
My buddy was in the front seat right next to me.
I hopped in.
It was cute, though, because I just parked my car in front of Maddie's, which was also next to a tree, but it's a very tiny
Little
tree.
tree.
Not the
We were
kind of
taking our
tree that,
chances.
yeah, we didn't have any choices here.
If that hit my car,
All right.
it'd probably be okay.
But we moved that, and then we came inside, and we realized that at first we thought we didn't have any candlesticks. Nightmare. But
yeah.
then, because Papa was like, I had to take some to set the other day, but then we realized that there was actually another whole box of them, which was, you can imagine our excitement.
Guys, the way a candle, the way we saw Nosferatu, and I just every evening scene, I was like, oh.
Gorgeous.
And obviously they were like going through a plague, but
Yeah.
I was like, beautiful, beautiful. The way those bed curtains look in the
Oh,
candlelight.
How is this romantic right now? That
A
woman's flesh
stunning
is being
place
eaten.
to be, I guess like possessed by a
Yeah, 2,000 rats on that
undead.
set. Oh, I would have loved it.
Yeah,
Me and Willem Dafoe would have been crisscross
Willem
applesauce
Dafoe,
chilling.
He is a pal.
Can we say
Will-
that? We can say
can
that.
Can you make one of the graphics
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's Willem Dafoe with? The way I told you this. I saw a video of him talking about his art, and so the interview had asked him like how he keeps that kind of energy that he seems to have, that kind of magnetism to him, where you like have to watch him on screen. And he was like, I just love to play. He was like, you give me a script, I'm already playing. You build a set around me, and then you give me props, and you put me in a costume. Like, I'm gonna
That
explore
is
that.
So,
Isn't that so? Like, I think he just has
beautiful.
such a genuine love for his
Yeah.
craft.
yeah. And you can tell that even by the movies he picks.
Yeah, because he could be doing stuff that's making him a ton. And I think he is.
Do you think
but,
it's
like,
in his contract that if he's in a movie, there has to be at least one scene in black and white?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be. At this point,
Well, I love that I think it had come out that Robert Eggers, the director of Nosferatu, said that he has like a couple more projects lined up with Willem Dafoe, and everyone was like, I love that his muse is a like 69-year-old man. The world is a beautiful
and that man
place.
is posing.
He is doing whatever.
He is playing.
We lit the candles,
We lit the candles.
which was my dream.
Yeah, Maddie was like, "Oh no, we can't go anywhere or do anything."
And I kept
all
being
the
like,
entertainment is up.
everyone should probably save their phone batteries.
Maddie
Everyone should probably keep their
instantly,
phones
I would
off.
say within 3 minutes of us settling into our candlelit living room, Maddie goes, "Everybody think of one secret that's not like or story of something that happened to somebody that nobody in the room knows, like something from like a hometown or whatever."
And something that's not gonna like ever get back. Like there's silly stories.
Yeah, but at first it ended up being the girlies just yapping about our days.
Yeah.
And so then we diverged from that. And then Maddie brought it up again. Not in a bad way, just in a, all right, hey, I'm not letting this go.
Because we were hitting.
Yeah.
And we needed some.
So then we told some more stories. And it was just like, it was a lovely little evening.
We were laughing so
So
hard.
hard. Mm.
So hard.
The only sound in that house.
and the wind and the branches hitting
And
the door.
and the
and
actual
the wind screaming
multiple
outside.
moments of us all
Going,
turning our heads
"What
and
was
looking at
that?"
the door.
Remembering that we have more stuff out back that we have to move.
Yeah,
Doing
going
another
out
mission
back. The picnic
outside.
table's on its side.
Yep.
It was already on its side, but it's on a
It's
different
different
side
side.
now, which is problematic and scary.
Yes, I can't even say we. Like Bree fixed all of that.
Yeah, we say that. We were
we were
outside.
going.
Well, at one point, Bree was like, "You have all this paint outside," and we had painted outside on Sunday afternoon.
Good
Lovely, and we
Lovely.
had it on our picnic table outside, and we had all the paint set up. But then last night we had gotten most of it,
Mm-hmm.
but there was still a fair amount of supplies left, and so we ran outside. The orchid dish
Brushes.
had broken.
Yeah, the orchid. But whose
It was
orchid
time for
was
that. It was time for that orchid.
Oh.
It was never going to come
No,
back.
and it was outside.
That baby was never going to come back. They're not meant to be outside. They are
They're not
dainty
meant
little
to
ladies.
be here. I feel like.
No.
Like, and I don't know that I have the skill to take care of them.
Yeah.
And by here I mean our home.
There was a therapist.
Because
It wasn't
I can't.
it wasn't my therapist, but it was a therapist at the office that I went to who would pop in. She was so cute. But she would always put ice cubes in her orchids.
That's
like
what I heard,
2 to
and
3
I
times a
tried that,
week.
Guys, I think that's the thing. I've tried so many times to keep an orchid alive because they're so beautiful.
It's starting to feel like maybe they don't want to be with me.
The only plant I
that's
can keep alive is a
fine.
pothos, though. And y'all have seen the one that's usually back here that blew away. It's
been
always
a
on the brink of.
tumultuous.
I kind of
I'm not going to say that Maddie's a toxic parent to that pothos.
That's what I'm saying. That's the 20% of me that likes don't hug me. I'm scared.
The part of you that wants to bring a plant to the brink of death only to revive it. You're flatlining your pothos.
I know. That's what I'm confessing. I think it is a little bit of like,
Maddie just like loves playing God.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
With your little parking game. Your dream is getting to direct traffic.
Guys, I have recently gotten into phone games. I will go through a phase with phone games, and I'm reaching the end of this one because I think this one.
And you know what? I'll say it. Phone games, you guys got crazy budgets. So hop on that. I know. Phone games, you guys are getting everyone and no
I
one
will
at the
say-
same time. It's amazing.
This one doesn't have many ads, but I think I'm figuring out the trick of it is I don't think you can pass it most times without paying to or watching an ad to get like unlock an extra. You can unlock
Is
an
that
extra parking
starting
space.
to grate at you?
A little, because to me I'm like, then this isn't about the game. But every time I start thinking that, I am getting a little bit better at doing the puzzles and remembering, because it is kind of about remembering which ones you need to move earlier on. It's one of those parking games. But actually, it's not even that. You're picking people up. You've got a bunch of cars and vehicles that are of like different colors, and you're picking up little stick figure people.
Have I got a job for you? Uber driver. We would love being Uber drivers. Oh my gosh.
Too much. People would either love it or hate it.
I think we'd have probably I think we'd have a 3.2 rating.
We'd get one person who couldn't be around flashing lights. Our careers would be over. We would be having strobe lights in there.
Oh, I was like, well, I don't know that we'd have stroke.
Yeah, I'm thinking
when I
cash
started
tag.
driving myself and it would be dark out and somebody would put a light on in the car and I was like, this doesn't bother me whatsoever. Why was it such a big deal growing up?
Parents being like, it's illegal.
Is it?
It's not. It's not.
It is kind of funny though, because if you do have on a light in your car, anybody can see you. So it is like a funny.
Yeah,
it's
a
a
little
spotlight.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
It is.
Did I tell you about the time that those kids were playing Sweet and Sour, or I thought it was Sweet and Sour, and they waved at me, and then and I waved back, and then they flipped me off.
Yeah, Millicent. Guys, I want to tell you why it's funny. That's funny. That story alone, hilarious. Because when you hear the description of this child, Millicent saying, "Have I told you?" about a story that that's a core part of who she is.
I think when I say it here, I'm like, have I told you? As in, like, have I told the pals?
And I want you to know.
Because it's hard for us to. I don't know. Maddie doesn't want to do a. Well, I'm not gonna.
Your
No,
ring
we don't need
hurts
it.
me.
No, that's fair. Here.
No, but I don't. You're not gonna take it off every time. Not in the moment.
I didn't
We've
take
been
it off, I
trying to
just
figure
wanted-
out a hand thing. It's.
Because Maddie has a hesitancy towards a handshake, which I am all for. Obviously, look at me.
I think I like a handshake. Like in this setting, I don't know that I would hate it, but I think I hate one in real life because it just feels a little impractical, and it feels like we never do it because it's impractical. And I feel
had,
like
like, a
this is a
Didn't
classic
we
for
have
a reason.
small one that we did at one point?
Well, we do the pinkies.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah. We were in yoga class last night. We didn't even tell them that we went. We were in a yoga
That's
class
what
when
we
the
were trying
winds
to tell
were
you.
charging
That's
up.
what we were trying to tell you.
Our other class
Before
pass. First one was
we came,
bungee.
First one was bungee.
Next
We
one
didn't even
was
get through the bungee story.
well. The bungee story is just
But the first time she had us gagged, she says, "I am your flight attendant today."
you have said the words that had you not said, I would have said. I wish she had said that.
And then, if that wasn't amazing, she teaches us a few skills.
Also, mind you, happiest, most like I actually think it would
Joyous
be.
woman.
We were actually upset after the class. I think our only complaint was that there was a pole in the middle of the mirror, so she couldn't see our reflections, and we wanted her to know that we were grinning.
it.
I'm not joking, guys.
Millicent was right behind me. I was right in front of Millicent.
When we put them on and I got to sit down for the first time, the smile happened and it did not stop the entire time. When we were doing the burpees, where you just do a burpee but with a bungee cord, so it's like the worst part of the burpee's not even there.
Guys, it was a blast. But then
So much fun.
the other main time she had us gagged was
First she put on Fireball.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh,
That
I'm
was the
so
one-
sorry. I'm so sorry. No, I thought the other one was when she told us to do the thing.
She said flight attendant first. That had us gagged first.
I'm so sorry.
Since second was no. Hey, brother, I'm glad you got to introduce it.
See.
We have this.
Oh yeah, we've all.
And
this
I
was
feel-
one of our.
honestly, that really works
actually-
for.
I think that was like our first inside joke.
The way we're
really.
never getting through this bungee.
No, we're never
Sorry.
getting through it.
We do. Millicent and I, when we have, and you can use this
This was one of our earliest.
because when you hang out with somebody for long periods of time, because
Mhm.
remember, the first year Millicent and I lived together, we lived together for about 6 months.
Mhm.
Throughout those 6 months, a lot happened. A lot.
And we're gonna get to it.
And
we
we're gonna
promise.
get to it, but a lot happened. And not
I was
between
gone
us,
for a period of those
between us,
6
but, like,
months.
in a
Not
good
gone.
way.
So we were still in each other's lives.
Yep. Very
Still
frequently.
close by. I just wasn't living at home.
We'll
We'll get to that at some point.
So
Did you guess it? Last week we
Did
said
you vote?
guess.
I don't know that anybody did. I think everyone was like,
No. Everybody
we immediately after that get locked into a house together for 2 years because of COVID.
Oh no.
We're hanging out all the time. So eventually you're going to start saying the same thing as your pals. You're going to be syncing up on thoughts. Or your pal's going to say something, you're going to be like, I was just about to say that. So instead of having to say that, all we do, because it would happen to us a lot in social settings too, and I think we didn't want to disrupt other people talking.
We would just
just
go.
go. Because it's the two of us, and we're in sync.
And one of us would just
We're
go,
working together.
hey, you and me?
Hey, you and me. Hey, you and me.
Just like we're just.
Parallel. We're working in sync.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, it just felt so right.
It just really did, yeah.
So we were with, she said, Fireball. She goes, when he says Fireball, we're going to go in a circle. We just learned how to go in a circle. And I know that sounds
Guys.
silly, but the circle was actually kind of the hardest part.
Believe it or not, bouncing in a circle was kind of challenging.
Because it kind of gets under you.
But
and-
again, guys, I'm smiling so hard I probably look terrifying. And they were filming a fair amount, and I'm like, burn that footage.
Yeah, don't use that, guys.
Because
we're learning.
We're learning.
But then the second song, guys, as if that wasn't amazing enough,
starting with Pitbull.
we've just learned how to fly. Okay, so that means you run. If you saw on our Instagram, and maybe I'll put the video at the end. You run, you step, and you kind of jump, and you get a fair amount of air, and you have to
Once you
jump
have
in
momentum.
sync with everybody because you're getting into other people's spaces. That's how close you are, but you're not in danger. Like it never felt like that. You're far enough apart, but to be in sync in the air with that many people was
Guys.
electric.
And you could feel like literally the
Yeah.
weightlessness of the room.
She taught us how to fly, and then she goes, okay, so for this next song, when we fly, and it says booty, you're gonna smack your butt.
In the air.
And the song was Low. Shawty got them apple bottom jeans. And so then when in the air, when it says, give that big booty a smack, hey!
Guys,
that's
we
when
were
did it.
airborne smacking our booties.
Airborne? Guys, again, Millicent was behind me.
But in those moments, we were kind of next to each other. Because we could see in the mirror
I
at
could
that
turn,
point.
too, and see you. Because we were kind of, Millicent was kind of in the air next to me.
We got to lock eyes.
I can tell you guys, and I actually mean this. I am not saying this exaggerated. I have never seen Millicent more joyous, if not a person ever more joyous. She had the most. It feels like if you've ever had dogs growing up, and
I'm gonna stick with you here.
that's why I went. And you get them that thing that you could, because I think dogs just, when they love, they love.
I think that's also just parenthood.
Yes, with children. Yes,
Let's
us being
keep
like
our
dog.
relationship dog, though.
For this, and sometimes I'm dog.
Yeah. Sometimes you're a dog.
Sometimes I'm dog. Sometimes
You
you're
bark, I
dog.
bark.
Yeah.
Woof.
Woof. Woof. Sorry, I was kind of doing
No,
this
it's okay.
as
It's okay.
the
It's okay.
woof
And
was
I knew that we hadn't locked eyes when I barked, so that's on me. Like having a dog.
We big booty is smack. Hey. The freest, and I know I didn't even do a tenth of it. The freest I have ever seen a person.
Guys, I can't even express it. It was a childhood dream, like a lifelong dream of like a feeling that no other people in history have gotten to experience this
Yeah,
version
like that.
of just doing that. One
So
of the
that's how
only
we-
reasons I wanted to do, like at one point when I went through my I want to be an actor phase, was because I saw the Peter Pan movie and I saw that they were rigged up and I was like, that looks fun.
Yeah. And now we're making those dreams a reality. Which, okay, so I'm sure we'll talk a ton more about the bungee classes. But so that was our first class pass.
Mhm.
Our second class pass
Last
was
night.
last night when the winds are picking up. They've been going all day and the fires are getting progressively worse. It's like, but it's not near us.
Yeah.
But again, the wind is bad where we are.
At this point, it's also only like 2 fires.
Yeah.
I think we're at 5
Yes,
fires
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, that's where we're currently at. We are in a yoga class, a gentle yoga class.
It was
on the second floor of a building. It was so lovely.
just
We got tea. It was,
walked in, instantly loved I think it was the owner.
yeah. And she was kind of younger woman.
And they were
Amazing.
celebrating their 1-year birthday as a business. So
We
they
got essential oil.
Yeah, and I got a fun sticker.
Guys, it was a great time. But hearing the winds getting worse outside. So when we got home
I'm
as
trying
a
to think of my
family
breath.
and we hunkered down, I would say we kind of made a choice.
What was that choice? I mean, we could live with the fear.
Sure.
We could
be
acknowledge
scared.
the fear. We
Sure.
could be,
Or
we could face
Face our
that fear.
fears.
Or better yet,
you could ride them.
Can we say it together this time?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
You
you
could
could
ride
ride
'em.
them.
Yeah. So for our audio listeners, we've been wearing robes this whole time, but under those robes we were wearing what we could, as close as we could get to Glenn Powell's outfit and Twister. This is kind of our version of it. It's like the flannels and jeans, and we have cowboy hats, and we put sunglasses on. So that's why it took a minute to get the robes off.
And to finish that sentence.
Yeah.
So if you were like, wow, they're talking so slow.
So we can actually say the whole thing together.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
If you want. So
Santa Ana wins.
yeah, you can either
Face
face
your
your fears
Or
ride
ride 'em.
'em. Was that good?
Was that good? You guys like that?
Ugh.
So this was fun for us. You need to know also that when our episode got swept away, lost the hat.
This hat's a little too big for my hat. Party City, R.I.P. That's where I got this hat. It lights
Guys,
up. Hang on.
Can I just say that Party City going out of business,
It's not
What?
looking good.
It's not looking good for Spirit Week at high schools. Can I
No.
say that?
It's not looking good for
You should be
last-minute
worried.
projects. Because here's the thing: when you need something in an hour, you're gonna be upset.
You
You
should
don't
be
got a
worried
Party
about
City
Party
on
City
your
closing.
local strip mall.
Yeah. When you waited till the last minute and you're in 5th grade
You're
to
gonna
get a
be-
costume and you
You're
got to
gonna be
run in and
willing to
find
pay
one,
a little extra money for that.
up a creek without a paddle, my guy. Because we let Party City slip through our fingers. Did their prices go up exorbitantly? Yeah, they did.
They did. But I will say, actually, I feel like the last couple times I've gone, I've been like, these prices aren't bad.
No. But now we can't go anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I know that's
I hope
not
you're
anybody's
happy.
fault. I'm sure that the pals are the type that would have kept it alive. If it had been up to the pals, obviously,
Yeah.
Party City would still be. I would think that our demographic is kind of.
You guys are probably Well, I don't know. Other countries might not have Party City. If you don't know, you could probably guess. It's a party. It's a Party City. It's got party stuff, party supplies. It's
You've
usually
heard of the
color
dress barn?
coordinated. Why it's very
Replace dress party
Dress
barn
party barn.
city.
so.
Basically that.
We'll be back. Now that we're in our little outfits, we had to get that in before we had to pause. So, I hope you enjoyed that.
Yep.
And we'll still be in it when we come back. Don't you
No,
worry.
this ain't going nowhere at this point.
The two things I wrote down before I
I
forget.
didn't even realize that we hadn't gotten one of them out.
Nope.
Crazy.
When we were in the garage in the last pause,
Mm-hmm.
you and I started talking about the Kate McKinnon alien abduction sketch from SNL.
Yes.
If you have not seen the sketch,
It's
it-
one of their
it's-
bigger ones. I
it's
would
one of
think
their popular ones, so you probably have seen it.
or an iteration because they did it
Or
a
a
couple
version because
times.
they've done it a lot. But
As
to
they should.
see that again, that was just a piece of media that I consumed at the right age.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was
think I would still
impactful.
think it's very funny now, but I think I got to see it at a time when I really loved SNL and
Yeah.
like as a kid, like to look up to that, and I was like, this is
Wasn't
the
it-
funniest.
Didn't Lorne Michaels say that like everybody's favorite cast is always the cast that they had kind of in high
That's
school?
what the movie Don't Think says in it. That's
Oh,
what Mike
right, right,
Birbiglia says in
Never
that.
mind. It wasn't Lorne Michaels.
But it is an interesting observation. But I also think that it's kind of part of the fun.
Yeah.
Because
That's
you get
part
to
of
grow
it.
up
It's
and
yours. That's the whole.
Mm-hmm.
It's your era.
But
of
we
it.
really loved that sketch, and she's pretending so that she's a part of a group that got abducted by aliens, and they're all relaying their alien experience to the FBI, and all of these people are like, it felt like we were being like wrapped in
Beamed
a
up
warm
in a-
blanket of
yeah.
love, and like it was just a beautiful
I
experience.
understood everything. I spoke to
Yeah,
God.
I spoke to God, and
You just gotta watch it.
she's doing this crazy character about what's happening to her and what the aliens are doing to her. So go
We're not
watch
even
it.
going to tell you, but she has a cadence, and there are some lines that she says in that.
Again, you're gonna watch it and be like, that's how they talk sometimes.
It is absolutely insane how hard that hit when I saw it for the first time. How hard it still hits.
Yeah.
It's always going to hit.
And I just feel like it was one of those sketches that made everyone laugh.
Yeah.
And when that gets to happen, that's the magic of it,
That's what it's
baby.
there for.
And
And that's when everybody's like, this is the first time I've laughed at SNL in however long. And it's like, one of those tweets happens every season. So shut up.
yeah. Just
get-
embrace it.
Just roll
Enjoy
with
it for where it's at.
Rock
And okay,
with it.
if you've never heard this, this is a good time to talk about this. I don't know, actually, other countries, do you guys even like, are you even aware of
They
SNL?
have their
Is
own
that even-
version. I think
I know
it's
you have
their
your own
own-
versions, but like, does the American one mean anything to you, or are you just like, no?
I feel like no, probably.
Yeah,
I
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if it's like making pop culture waves enough.
don't know. It's targeted at Americans.
Yeah.
It is kind of like what's going on in our, like even like Weekend Update will do like global stuff though. But
Yeah, they will. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, are any of the sketches going viral enough?
Curious.
But what was I gonna say about that?
Oh, were you going to talk about the way to view it?
Oh yes. So there's this article by Jesse David Fox. He's a writer for, I want to say it's on Vulture, that is about like how you should consume Saturday Night Live, which makes it more fun. And I know it sounds so silly, but it is like, I do think going into things with the right mindset of what
Yeah.
it is makes you kind of get to respect it for what it was like trying to do. But SNL, if you view it like a sport, it makes it so much more fun. Like, like I know saying comedy sports is silly, but it's like you view it each season as like you have a cast, which is like a team, and you're like rooting for this team to like do something that's very difficult to do, which is create a fully hilarious sketch show for an hour. And do they do
Live.
it? Not always. And that's kind of the
that's
like,
part of it.
that's the highs and the lows and
That's part of it.
like,
And it's also like they have to throw so much shit at the wall. It's like
Yeah.
not everything's going to stick.
not everything. And sometimes stuff does better at certain times. Like,
yeah. But I remember when you had said that, and I thought that was such a like it also just, we enjoy watching it live just because there is such a beautiful thing about watching something live.
Something that's happening right now.
It's the only reason I have not deleted Twitter. I just need to like move to something else, but like it's the only reason because I enjoy going on and like seeing what people are saying, like after we watch a sketch, being like,
what are people saying?
yeah,
and-
how quickly is somebody going to crank out an edit of Paul Mescal singing? Like I want to know that.
Or how quickly on like TikTok are people going to be talking about it?
So that's our first recommendation for you to watch.
Our first
Go
recommendation,
watch.
yeah.
Just watch SNL.
SNL
Just say,
Kate McKinnon alien sketch.
and watch the first one. It's with Ryan. It's with
Ryan Gosling, and he's a part of it. That's,
and he
makes it
is
so fun.
giggly.
He's a giggly boy. The second thing I wrote down, which I think ties us back to our, you don't
Ties
face
us
your
back.
fears, you
ropes us
ride
back
'em.
in if you will.
I wanted to say, as we were going through this, because I don't want anyone to like misconstrue us like joking about everything being blown away, because it is very windy, and I want to say, I love this city, and I think this is making me like really appreciate where we live.
Yeah.
Because it has been so cool to see people taking action in the city and like really supporting people. And we've kind of been joking about how many people have been texting us that like don't live here and been like, are you guys okay? Are you guys okay? We're to the point where we have like a copy and paste message. Sorry that we're just sending. But it is like,
Yeah.
and I understand because like if I wasn't here, I would text my friend that was here.
Absolutely.
But it's just like, it does feel, I don't know, like we get to, the city is coming together in a way that's like, if we have to be here, we may as well be here together.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of LA and that's what I would say to people who like
Yeah.
don't live here either. Like I think I've always felt so proud of this city, and like now
Yeah.
I feel like it's really being.
I think
shown.
having like, and I understand that this city is so
There's so many faults with it.
and there's so many feelings around too, like transplants and such. I just like when we moved out here, it really was just such an admiration and like instant love for it.
Yeah.
And we love it here, and so our hearts and our prayers are actually like truly with the city and the people, especially because a lot of it, the areas that are being really affected right now are, it's not what you would think of as LA.
Yeah. So if you're not that familiar with LA, like the city is large, so the fires are not really that close to us.
Isn't it the largest city like land?
Yeah, like land wise, because it's pretty spread out. Like it's not all clumped together. There's very separate areas. And we live in an area that just is really windy, but it's not affected by the fires.
We're on the other side of the mountain.
But where the fires are,
is primarily like the people who we know who grew up here. It's where their families are. It is like the residential,
like the people who live a little outside the city.
the people who have been living in these homes for 65 years. And so I think that's why we had a friend message our Bimbos group chat and say that her high school had burned down, which is just such a fire is all consuming, and because it leaves behind nothing, it really just jars you.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So I just wanted to address that from the top, but to tell you, not from the top,
From the
or
middle.
from the middle, from
Middle
towards like
end.
in the last section. But we did, for our situation, like all we could really do was hunker down and make sure that we were prepped. Like we made sure we had water. I finished my shower.
Yeah.
We like kind of made the most of it of just getting to sit around and like be in each other's, like help kind of distract each other.
Yeah. If there's
mean-
nothing you can do, you can be together and like
Yeah.
truly be. And this is a situation where even our phones, like none of us really had our phones fully charged because it was the end of the day.
And we didn't know how long our power was going to
Yeah.
be out for.
So we all kind of had our phones on Do Not Disturb, like, and it just really was. There were a couple times where I instinctively went to pick up my phone, and then just being like, "Oh, I should not be on my phone right now," and also I could not be on my phone right now. Like I can right now. Nobody would expect me to be responsive right now.
No.
Which is just
A relief.
there is kind of like a forced freedom in that. Which
I think we need to give ourselves forced phone breaks of being like, hey, I could respond to stuff right now, but like I don't have to, and there's probably nothing immediate like happening, so not feeling that pressure.
we were never made to be
This
forever contactable, like just consistently.
us being like, so write in at heytherepals.com. Oh, we should talk about that.
Guys,
I might glasses here.
Okay.
Because-
Because we're going to get sincere real quick.
Yeah.
A couple of things right off
After
the
that
bat.
last part where we were like, we love our city, and now
We
we're
love
like,
our city.
we're gonna get sincere.
Taking off the sunglasses. Two things. One, this is very recent. Yesterday we posted a thing with our first ever like #CircleUpPals on our Instagram. And we just want to say we asked in the post just for you guys to like introduce yourselves and also like talk to each other. And we just want to say that We
Oh.
were clutching our hearts.
And we needed that last night.
Yeah, it was really, really cool to like read through and just see people introducing themselves and like you guys interacting in the comments. It was beautiful. And we also had a pal reach out that there was a Reddit thread that was potentially made or something
Yeah.
along those lines that we will try
We'll
to
look into that.
We'll look into that. Don't worry,
We're
guys. We're on
trying.
it. We're trying. But then we also set up our voicemail, as we've now said a couple of times. And our dream for this is just that it is a void that you guys can cast out into. We have no way of responding to these.
No.
Let's be like, well,
Tell us about your pals. Like a lot of people were just kind of being like, "Hi," which was we're going to be playing some of these, okay?
Yeah.
So know that when you're submitting to.
Yeah, think of it like a radio
Mm-hmm.
hotline. It is not, if you have something that you like sincerely want to say that you don't want us to share, on our website, on the form, there's a button that says, let's just keep this between
So
us.
email those.
Email anything that's sentimental or whatever, but
Yeah.
sentimental or
And
whatever.
remember,
I say that as
keep
if we
it-
aren't.
Keep it light.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
only 2 people.
But this is just, so far, the calls that we've gotten are so fun.
Yeah.
We both just like huddle over my phone and play them, and it has so far just been amazing. So
It was so delightful. We got to play some for like my sister-in-law the other day,
Yeah.
which was so fun. Like
so
you guys are just so sweet, and it tell us about your pals. Some people did.
sorry,
Sorry, our garage is rattling because it's
Yeah.
very windy out still.
yeah. This actually probably is the safest place for us to be, which is
I don't know. I don't trust this.
Really?
Over our house.
I feel like because there's no windows.
All of Bree's tools
Oh yeah, true.
hitting us. We be getting stuck in
Yeah.
props.
While we're talking strong winds and I'm wearing this, there is the other thing that I think we were gonna mention watching. And you don't necessarily have to watch the whole thing, but you could look up this scene maybe or fast forward. I'm sure somebody has a timestamp.
Oh.
The movie Twister, the reboot.
The new one.
The new-
Twisters.
Twisters, yeah, multiple. By the way, somebody stole Maddie's car magnet. Maddie had a Twisters car magnet.
we don't know that. I think
No.
it might have fallen off.
think-
That's what I said. We have one still.
We've got a lot of rambunctious boys on
It's
bikes.
going back to the boys
in
on the bike.
area.
It's always about the boys on the bikes with Nelson. You guys got to know that now.
Yeah. Guys, I have a little bumper magnet that I got, and I'm like scared somebody's gonna take it. Sometimes I'll check as I'm walking back out, as if it's like highly coveted, but I'm like, nobody better steal my cute little bumper sticker.
I hope not.
No, it's a bumper magnet though, which makes me nervous.
Yeah.
You can't steal a sticker.
Yeah, stickers. a
Good
little harder.
luck. What was? Oh, the thing that I was gonna say that we would recommend watching, or that we care about a lot, something that was impactful for us.
Something that I think caught us by surprise.
Yes. Twisters in the new one.
Mhm.
Maddie and I both. It wasn't that we found Glenn Powell unattractive.
Right.
It was that we didn't see the like.
Well, I don't think we had really. I had not really watched him in a lot of stuff.
No.
So when I started seeing interviews of him and being like, oh, he's silly, goofy.
Yeah.
That's what like. He just was kind of generic attractive to me before, and I was like, I get why people are into him, but I'm like not. Oh, Top Gun. I think that was the first one where I was like,
Oh yeah.
oh my god.
But he was kind of like the mean guy in Top Gun, wasn't he?
They kind of become friends like halfway through. They're
Yeah.
flipping. He's not quite an Iceman, like, and Iceman becomes his friend by the end. So it's spoiler.
Mm.
Sorry if you haven't seen the first Top Gun, guys. We gotta say it, and we told you we're gonna try and be a little more patriotic because we're trying to save this city. Top Gun. It's a great movie.
And you really do hate to admit it.
You hate to admit it but I will say it's
I don't
not.
hate to admit it.
If you are, because I think the reason a lot of people might like not love it is military stuff, like whatever. But
military
it's
stuff
like-
and Tom Cruise.
and Tom Cruise, yeah, the whole like, yeah, if do you want to support, I don't know, but it isn't really even about. It's about this guy,
Mhm.
and there's something about him that you can't help but respect.
He's a maverick.
He's a maverick. He's a maverick.
We get it. But Twisters.
Twisters.
This was-
we didn't quite. This was our first time really seeing him
Yes.
doing something a little
And
romantic leady.
yes. And also his character, I think this was the first time I'd seen him play a charismatic character.
Yes,
Because he was always charismatic, but it was a supposed to be charming character.
I think we also thought he was going to be more of a jerk in this movie, and he's just this kind of like, he's a little like sassy, silly at the top. But
Yeah.
it's like kind of friendly, nice.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of just doing what he can.
Yeah.
And
There
he's
is-
the one, and you find out.
But there is a scene that shifted our perspective drastically and quickly.
Because I think then we started to see him as the silly, goofy guy throughout the movie.
Yes.
Because he's being a little teasy of her. He's having like little fun.
This scene,
But then he
I
has to step up.
don't know who directed this movie off the top of my head. I don't
Please
know
be a
if it
woman.
was a woman. This scene makes me think that it was either a woman DP.
Should we look it up right now? Should this
Yeah.
be our first time?
Yeah,
I can do
yeah.
it. I can do it.
We're gonna look it up because this was such a
Keep- yeah,
female
keep talking about
gaze
it.
moment. So I'll tell you where the scene starts. Obviously, you know there's tornadoes. There's not just one tornado. There's so many tornadoes. They're everywhere.
And
Think
don't,
of-
if you guys are worried about this getting inappropriate, it doesn't. That's what
Not
we're
at
saying.
all.
That's why it's so funny.
It's
this is
wild.
burned in our brain.
So the tornado's coming.
Lee Isaac
obviously.
Chung. No, it's a man. Thank you, Lee Isaac Chung.
Okay, Lee Isaac
Oh, he's
Chung.
the director of Minari. That's amazing.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay. Talk about range.
Yeah, wow.
So there's a tornado coming. They are at
As
a
it
motel.
happens.
Yeah, they're at a motel. She's with him, and they're like with a couple of the members. No, I think it's just
They're
those
like, we
two.
gotta
They're off
get
on
those
their own.
people out from the
Yes.
motel.
So they go knocking on the doors, and they're like, "There's a tornado like it's a massive tornado coming." And there's an emptied out pool.
There's no basement.
No,
in
there's
this
no
motel.
basement. They're not near any of the shelters, but there's an empty out pool.
Mm-hmm.
And so they run down into the pool, and there's kind of a part where the filters and all of the machine stuff is, but it's kind of like it's like a divot
Yeah, in the pool.
in the bottom
It's
of
a
the
little
deep end.
weird.
It's in the deep end, but
Yeah.
it's like a divot where all the pipes are and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So they get down there and into that divot.
And they're with like a mom
And her daughter.
daughter.
And
It's Glenn's time. So he's been a chump this whole time. He's kind of been all talk.
Also,
but
at one
she's
point-
starting to realize there
Didn't
might be a different side to him.
didn't the little boy almost get swept back and Glenn like had to run back and get him? There's some like he does
Glenn's
something.
helping the little
Yeah.
kid.
So then
He
the
gets
tornadoes
on there.
the tornadoes
It's wet.
coming.
They're getting wet.
Yeah. Oh, it's getting
That's
yeah,
an
it's getting
important part
crazy.
of this.
So the tornado's like whip. It's coming down
It's
into.
coming.
It's gonna be on
you
the
can
pool in a
see
couple
it
of
behind
seconds.
them
The
because
camera-
the camera.
Okay, guys.
It's all about the camera angle here.
Okay.
Okay. If we are them, if we are them,
If you're the so you're the
camera, but you'd actually be down here.
Yeah, you're lower.
You'd be down here.
So it's kind of like up here,
yeah,
right?
so we're a little bit like above you.
All right, and you are looking through the pipes, like at us.
Through the
There's
pipes,
like a
and
machine
the,
in your.
the open pool is behind you. Like
And
you're in the
she-
tunnel,
She's crouched over it, almost fully
holding
covering,
on to the pipes.
holding onto the pipes, and you're on her face.
She's up close.
watching her. Okay,
She's up close. You're down here. She's up close.
You do not see Glenn Powell's face.
No.
All you see. His body.
He's got one leg up. He's gripping that pole
Gripping.
around
Oh,
her.
and you see the grip. You have the full
and
angle of
can I
that.
say I had so much faith in him. I was like, oh, I know,
He ain't
I
letting
know,
go.
my boy is doing
That
it.
pipe's coming out of the floor before
Yeah.
he's letting go. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that. But the way that he like is bracing against the wind, and
Yeah.
you do not see his face.
No.
You just kind of see him over her.
Yeah,
Y'all.
because
scene?
here's the thing: when this is why going to the movies is incredible, and we want to do an episode of going to the movies. We just got to figure it out, but trust it'll come. But I feel like sometimes there's moments in movies that don't get like necessarily a big reaction out loud. It's also a loud scene, so like if people were reacting, you couldn't even really hear it.
I think I brought my earplugs for that movie.
It was
'cause we were seeing
loud.
in
It was on
IMAX.
IMAX, yeah. Big rocks.
Not, not. It's A-list, guys.
I love our city. But at the end, what's so beautiful about seeing a movie where you can't talk during it is getting to discuss it at the end. And so at the end, everyone being like, that pool scene was pretty intense, huh?
How did you like it? Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's
when he was.
when he's
When he was.
oh his
hello?
arm. And then when Maddie and I think it was
I think
almost
you literally
instant.
barely said it, and we were like, no.
I think did I lean over during that or something or
I think it was when we were
I
outside.
think-
I think it was like one of the
no?
first things we discussed.
We were both gagged, so I don't think I was even able to like react with you. Because there were a couple of times.
Thank you. I feel like I might need to lose the hat.
Wait,
if I'm
take
being
the hat
honest.
off real quick. Readjust the bangs.
It's
No,
just-
keep the hat on, brother.
It's so big.
yeah.
It's just too big.
I get that. Do you want to switch hats? Do you want to try this one? This one can
But I don't
tighten.
like this one.
This one can tighten the back.
But is this one gonna match yours?
It doesn't matter, brother. Thank you. I'm not
Sorry,
poking
I
at-
made that hat.
Yeah, guys. She made this hat. Party City too.
Yoo! I feel like I should be on Jimmy Buffett's boat in this hat.
I should be at a chapel concert.
Wasting away again in Margaritaville.
Oh, remember weren't we on Catalina Island when he died? Because that couple at the bar was like wearing their like parrot
Yeah.
headgear. I think they said they'd seen him 60 times.
The parrot heads have a love like no other, and that's kind of the circle up vibe we're going for.
Yeah.
Everybody just hanging
Only-
out.
The idea is that you are welcome.
Yeah.
And we are all vibing. Don't bring any aggressive.
Don't
You know, there's
match
none
the
of
vibe.
that, none of
Match
that.
the vibe. And I think so. We were hunkered down.
We're hunkered down. The candles are on.
Candles are on, and we are. I'm trying to remember. There was something that we had us cracking up. I feel like Bree was telling a story.
Yeah, there were a couple of times Papa was really weaving some yarns. Is that
Weaving some yarn.
isn't that what you say? Weaving some, like weaving a story, weaving a yarn.
They weren't Papa plots.
We already used up our one Google, so.
Yeah. Sorry.
And it was fully because we were like, a woman had to have done this, right?
The touch of a woman is such a unique one. And then we're like, oh, okay.
All right, Lee. All right, I tip my hat to you, sir.
Thank you, good sir. That one, he said, that one's for the girls. If I'm gonna put 2 twisters in it, I'll
Yeah.
give this for
that
the girls.
was a real Kenny Ortega move, if you will.
I can't. I have to keep him inside. Inside every pal has a Kenny.
You are amazing at that. You have.
I'm gonna go to the Hollywood Walk of Fame as Kenny Ortega.
Does he have a star? I think he does.
You can go as Zach.
He has a star, doesn't he?
Yeah.
We'll see if Zach and Kenny want to visit the star at some point.
We're hunkered down.
We're hunkered down. We've got the candles going. Bree's taken multiple photos with the slow exposure, trying to get this one shot of Maddie with the stars on her face. It did look cool.
It did look cool.
Then at one point though, because we were all on one side of the living room because we have a big window, and so we didn't want anything like. Because that's the main thing that's one of the main things for us where it was like, just stay away from windows.
Yeah.
Because again, not again, I don't think I said this. Maybe I did. It was so long ago. I got woken up yesterday morning by like a palm branch smacking into my window so hard. That'll wake you up.
It was loud. I was surprised when you were awake, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Last night then, Millicent was worried to sleep in her room.
Because my room has a window.
Yes, and we were worried about that. So Millicent came into mine because just my room didn't seem like it was going to get hit with trees. Millicent has a lot of trees that could go through her window.
Yeah, there were those 3 palm trees that are kind of diagonally.
Yeah.
If the wind hit just right, that bad boy is javelin through I got a
through your
wiggly
window,
palm through the window, you know?
So we already were in like hangout mode. So Millicent slept in my room, and it was fun, and it was very funny.
I came in, Maddie had put the star projector on her bed.
Yeah, Bree came in and took a picture.
We were, again,
Guys,
in a silly,
sometimes we tell you like things yes, we were in a silly, goofy mood, but sometimes we're in an earnest mood too.
So Papa comes in, she snaps a picture of us, and then jokingly.
When Bree takes pictures like that, you have to understand.
She,
There's
like,
something
fully-
this is why she's so Papa. She's also so Mama in this way. Like she's like kind of how your mom deals with her iPhone, where it's like, and she's always joking. She'll find out about iPhone features,
And she'll take
years
great pictures.
after they've come
it
out.
really is just like, it
But
takes her a
it's-
sec.
and when she wants to do them, it's so like.
Earnest.
It's so earnest. And the way that your like parents
Yeah.
want to take pictures, she's like, and she's smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
I think that's why
Maddie
it's
and
so
I
sweet.
are like covers up to our chins, and we're in the bed
With the star projector
and we're
on.
going, Papa, Papa, and then I think I might have said it. I don't know
Yeah, I think
how
you
it
did.
started.
I think you did.
I said, Papa, tuck us in, tuck us in.
Bree
Never
was about to. She was walking away already
Yeah,
to go to bed.
never in my wildest dreams. Because Papa, you have to realize we call her Papa for a reason, because there is a Papa essence to her. So you
Sometimes she plays along though, and this is one
Yeah.
of those times.
A lot of
'Cause
times
that's
she
why
plays
it's so
along.
joyous.
Yeah,
but she
yeah.
does play along.
she really makes us like it because she is so earnest with what she will
And won't
engage
do.
with.
Mhm.
You know when she's there, Papa wants to be there.
Yeah.
Papa comes back in that door.
Yeah.
She starts tucking us in.
She took us in. It was so sweet, and she did a good job.
Great job.
She didn't half-ass it. She wasn't too aggressive.
No. And we didn't do the Buddy the Elf thing where we tickled her or nothing.
we said
were
it, though.
really well. We did mention that.
We kept
said,
saying
tickle,
tickle,
tickle.
fight, but she didn't seem scared. I think she
She knew.
knew we weren't.
She
gonna
knew
do
that
it.
we wouldn't. She knows there's
Yeah.
a respect line. Again,
Yeah.
it's Papa. You know,
We're
she
not-
knows we're not going
not
to
gonna be
tickle Papa.
tickling.
I don't know that we've ever tickled Papa, and I think that's okay. I will say I
Our
don't
garage door
necessarily
keeps
ever
blowing.
feel the desire to like tickle my friends or loved ones. Really,
No, that is not how my body reacts for love. That's not my
No.
chosen.
I'm also like, yeah, it might get a giggle, but it's also like, "Ugh!" Like I don't want to give
Yeah,
my.
I don't want to put him into defense mode.
No, that's not what I want. You guys,
We rode our fears.
we rode them. Did we not?
We tried to make the best out of a like kind of silly situation.
Yeah.
Like it felt like a snow day, which for us growing up was so fun.
Way worse though in terms of vibes everywhere. And also when I say vibes, I just mean there's no threat necessarily with a snow day. You know?
So,
You just
but I
gotta-
mean that I think we decided to go into it with that energy.
We kind of like we were forced into this, and also it's very rare as an adult now to like kind
Yeah.
of have an excuse to actually be like,
Unplugged.
Yes.
Again, it was my dream.
She was grinning ear to
Guys,
ear.
I was so
When we were
happy.
Meanwhile, while we're falling asleep, I was like, can we imagine what my episode of Modern Family would have been tonight?
Mm-hmm.
And we did. We dreamed up
We
a little
did.
episode. It was really nice. I said, what do you think Phil would have done?
What was Phil doing in ours?
Phil was doing a stunt for Claire
hot air balloon.
on the hot air balloon, and he was gonna do the tightrope because he was in some type of midlife, some
Crisis
type of
kind
thing.
It wasn't really
and he
about
wanted to
the Claire
prove it
thing.
to her,
Yeah.
and then she freaks out.
But he ends up calling it off because he's the most scared.
And then they hug, and she says, "No, don't do it. I don't want you to do it." And then they hug, and he was like, "Okay, I won't do it because of that." And then he said,
Yeah.
"I was actually so scared." And then
Yeah,
she says,
he
"I know."
admits, and she's like, I know.
And then
baby.
Manny's trying to grow a mustache.
Manny and Luke are seeing who can grow a mustache the fastest. I'm not positive that's not an episode already. That seems like that
Probably.
had to have been
That's the
an
thing. They
episode.
had 12 seasons. There's nothing
They had to have
that
covered
we could think
mustaches
of
on
that. Yeah.
teen boys.
Yeah, and then it was like, well, Alex only had not Alex. Alex was going to settle and go to a different school. We were just trying to be like where I am in the
we
seasons
had a good
right
time.
now.
And honestly, guys, doing that, you can do that whenever. You
That
can
feels-
imagine your own sitcom
that feels
episode.
so desperate. Us being like me, truly being like, I didn't get to watch my TV tonight.
I know, like a drug.
What
we
do you
have to
think
give
they're
it
up
to you.
to?
Just being like,
But it's part of my like rhythm now when
Yeah.
I'm home. I
Yeah.
just ever since I started not
I will
rewatching
say
it,
something
watching
about
it.
that show. Every actor on that show has such a distinct voice
Mhm.
that I feel like I understand that it's each of those voices now provides
Yeah.
like a certain rhythm.
Every time I put it on, I'm gonna laugh out loud at least once.
And I love to hear her laughing from the other room if I'm not in the room. And then usually she'll tell me what she just laughed about, which is my favorite. Because I've seen a lot of it, so a lot of times I can picture which part she's talking about. Because a lot of the ones you've laughed the hardest at are things that were like deeply impactful for me and my family. Yeah, like that
No,
we
it's
would say
really
all the
beautiful.
time.
Also, are we gonna run out of time? Do we need to close?
Yeah, we can close here because it'll go till 30, but we can
Oh,
end it before.
well,
Um,
we needed to start wrapping it up.
I think we
because-
have like 2 minutes.
So we didn't actually think of a challenge.
No, but
The
I
challenge
think,
got
the
blown away,
challenge
but-
is kind of this. Like, it's kind of like you might have to do things that could just be even mundane, and it's like, try to add a little pizzazz to it. Light a few candles.
Add a little pizzazz. It's like if
settle
you
in,
gotta do it, lean
be
into
with-
it.
Yeah, and be with your pals.
Don't just face the task. Ride it. And watch that SNL sketch, Alien Abduction, Kate
And
McKinnon,
affection.
and then potentially watch Twisters, or at least look up the Twister pool scene.
Those are your two.
I am
tasks.
certain that somebody has put a timestamp of it online.
And somebody, some of you, I'm assuming, will already know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I have faith.
Listen, we have realized too, as you guys have commented and sent things in, we had
We're all pretty
somebody
in
send us
sync.
a voicemail and say that they were doing what was it? They were going out to a bar. They were doing a banana bar crawl
Oh yeah,
where they were all dressing up like they found
like
a
convinced their
group.
boyfriend to go to like a banana bar.
Yeah,
crawl.
where there's like a group Facebook thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Where people were just putting on banana suits and going to a bar crawl. And
That's
she
so
was like,
fun,
I'm
you
doing it with my
guys.
boyfriend. Love that.
so fun.
Also, I'll start Googling some banana bar crawls. Sure.
There's got to be something.
We don't actually have banana costumes, which means we'd probably have to get a little creative.
I think
It
we've
would be
always just
terrifying.
jumped past the banana costume
Yeah.
because it's a little like you can just buy. And let me. It's a classic for a reason.
Classic for a reason.
Same thing with the hot dog.
Because the
costume.
banana's always going to kind of make people smile.
It's a
like,
little silly.
yeah.
And you can just. I think it invites
think-
people to be a little silly.
I think at this point I would do Job in that episode of Arrested Development. Where I would have
He's
like
in the
my
banana-
bare pants and he's like in the banana suit and he's
I really want to be Blue Tobias, or the one where he's getting the hair plugs.
that storyline freaked me out.
Okay,
Guys, we have to go because we
we're gonna
honestly
run out.
we're realizing that we're hitting that point in our yapping where it no longer is going to be
It's not gonna make any sense to you.
yeah, and that's
It's
okay.
gonna start going.
That's because
When we get too oiled up.
yeah.
We like. Phew, that's what the breaks
It's,
are good for too.
Pals, we love you. We hope that by the
Stay
time
safe.
this comes out and we're believing that by
Yeah.
the time this comes out everything will be contained. Everybody will be safe and we'll get to be engaged in our
Keep
community. Figure it
keep
out.
engaging with each other.
Kiss a firefighter.
Yeah.
Only if they want
Bye.
it. All right. Bye. What's the song that they sing in Twisters? They had like a
How